When a man is truly into you, it shows, but not always in the most obvious ways. Sometimes he won't come out and say, "I'm falling for you." Instead, his behavior gives it away. The truth is, men often use subtle psychological tricks, not in a manipulative way, but as their way of expressing interest, testing connection, and building attraction. Let's break down the 6 powerful psychological tricks men use when they're crazy about you. When someone is deeply drawn to you, their actions often speak louder than their words. One of the most subtle yet powerful psychological signs is when a man begins to mirror your energy. It's not something calculated or rehearsed. It's an instinctive reaction that happens when someone wants to connect at a deeper level. When a man is crazy about you, he unconsciously tunes into your rhythm. Your laugh, the way you speak, your body language, your energy. He starts to reflect it back. It's a natural attempt to create harmony and closeness without even needing to say a word. Human beings are wired to connect through similarity. When two people's energies align, the brain registers it as comfort, safety, and compatibility. That's why mirroring feels so effortless. It's the quiet bridge between curiosity and attraction. You might notice it in small ways first. When you lean forward during a conversation, he might lean in too. When you speak softly, his tone lowers. When you gesture with your hands, he starts doing the same. These moments may seem insignificant, but they're not. They're signs that he's paying attention at a subconscious level. He's not just hearing your words, he's absorbing your presence. Mirroring is also his way of showing, "I get you. I'm on your wavelength." It's a way to build unspoken trust, and in romantic attraction, trust is everything. Think about how it feels when someone just gets you. You don't need to explain every emotion or feeling, because they already seem to be in sync with your vibe. When a man mirrors your energy, he's creating that sense of effortless connection. It's a sign that your energy is affecting him, pulling him closer without him realizing it. Even confident men who seem composed in every situation can't help but do this when they truly like someone. It's an instinct that overrides control. He doesn't sit down and say, "I'm going to mimic her gestures." His brain is simply trying to get closer to yours emotionally. Mirroring also works because it reduces the emotional distance between two people. When someone reflects your energy, your brain interprets it as similarity. Similarity makes us feel understood. Understanding builds intimacy. Intimacy fuels attraction. This sequence happens beneath the surface, almost like a quiet emotional conversation happening in the background. That's why when you're talking to someone who's genuinely into you, the moment feels natural, easy, almost like you've known each other longer than you actually have. Another interesting part of mirroring is how it often extends beyond body language. It can show up in speech patterns, humor, pacing, and even emotional responses. If you're excited about something, he'll get excited too, even if he doesn't fully understand why. If you talk with passion about something that matters to you, he'll lean in, nod, and feed off your energy. That's not him faking interest, it's his emotional state syncing with yours. When you share a story and laugh, and he laughs not just at the joke but because you're laughing, that's mirroring on a deeper emotional level. It's his way of aligning with your feeling. Mirroring is also a sign that someone values your presence. When a man is indifferent, he doesn't adapt to your pace, your mood, or your tone. He stays in his own world. But when he's into you, he steps into your world. He allows your energy to influence his. This shows he's not just attracted physically, but emotionally invested in how you make him feel. He wants to be where you are emotionally. He wants to match your rhythm because it draws him closer. What makes this even more powerful is that most men have no idea they're doing it, and they might just feel good around you without being able to explain why. It's that invisible connection that keeps pulling them back. It's why conversations with someone you truly like can last for hours without feeling forced. The flow isn't manufactured, it's mirrored energy creating comfort and chemistry. If you pay close attention, you'll see this mirroring not just in conversations, but in how he reacts in group settings. If someone else makes a joke, he might glance at you first to gauge your reaction before laughing. If you're relaxed, he relaxes too. If you're engaged, his attention sharpens. His emotional state begins to mirror yours, making the bond between you stronger with every shared moment. This is one of the clearest psychological indicators that he's not just interested. He's drawn in deeply, pulled into the gravity of your presence without needing any words to express it. When a man is genuinely drawn to someone, he doesn't just wait for the perfect moment to arrive, he quietly creates it. He looks for subtle, meaningful ways to place himself in your world. This isn't about being overly obvious or desperate. It's a quiet, deliberate effort to be where you are, to share spaces with you, and to build moments that make connection possible. When he's crazy about you, he finds opportunities to be around you, even when it seems like everything just happened by chance. But if you look closely, you'll realize those coincidences aren't coincidences at all. They're small, intentional moves meant to bring him closer to you. He might hear about an event you're attending and suddenly decide he wants to be there too. He may volunteer to help with something because it involves you. He might show up in places where your paths are likely to cross. None of this is forced. It's guided by an internal pull that makes him want to be part of your environment. He doesn't always announce it or make a grand gesture. Most of the time, it's quiet effort. The kind that only becomes obvious when you start to notice a pattern. When someone is indifferent, they stay in their lane. When someone's drawn to you, they begin to overlap their world with yours. What makes this behavior powerful is the intention behind it. Men are not always vocal about their feelings, but their presence speaks volumes. Choosing to be where you are is a way of saying, I want to be close to you, without actually saying it. It's a soft but consistent signal of interest. He may not even be trying to impress you in that moment. Often it's simply that being around you feels good. Your energy pulls him in, so he follows it. That's why you'll start noticing him showing up more often. Not in an intrusive way, but in a way that feels effortless and natural. You'll also notice that these efforts are rarely random. He remembers things. If you mention you love a certain coffee shop, he might just happen to stop by there more often. If you talk about going for a run in the park on weekends, he might suddenly become a morning jogger. If you share that you're attending a social gathering, he finds a way to make it too. This is his way of creating shared experiences, moments where connection can grow. It's subtle because he doesn't want to overwhelm you or make it obvious, but underneath it all is the strong desire to be part of your daily life. Another layer to this is the psychological comfort of shared spaces. When two people occupy the same environment, even casually, their emotional bond has more opportunities to deepen. Familiarity builds trust. Repeated encounters build a sense of closeness. A man who's truly interested knows this instinctively. He doesn't need to plan a speech or ask for attention directly. Just being present, just finding those moments to cross paths, builds a rhythm between you. It's like the beginning of a song playing softly in the background, before you even realize it's your favorite tune. It's also worth noticing how he acts in those moments when he places himself in your orbit. He doesn't always need to initiate big conversations. Sometimes, just being around is enough. He might position himself nearby in a way that doesn't feel pushy, but makes it easy for you to interact. He gives you space while still being close, creating a natural flow. That balance, being near but not overwhelming, is something men often lean into when they genuinely care. It's a way to say, I want to be where you are, but also, I respect your space. This consistent effort to appear to share space and to create opportunities is also a form of emotional investment. It takes thought, intention, and a quiet kind of courage. When a man is indifferent, he lets life take its course. When he's crazy about someone, he steers gently toward them. Over time, this pattern becomes undeniable. He's not waiting for fate. He's giving fate a little nudge. Even small gestures matter here. It could be offering to help carry something, joining an activity you enjoy, or staying a little longer just to talk. It's not about big declarations, it's about consistent presence. This presence slowly builds familiarity, trust, and comfort. It allows both people to get used to each other's energy without pressure or expectations. It creates shared chapters before the story even fully begins. A man who goes out of his way to be around you is quietly telling you something. He's saying your presence matters. He's saying he wants to be a part of your moments, even if they're ordinary. Those subtle appearances aren't random. They're the quiet language of desire, interest, an emotional pull that words sometimes can't express. When a man is deeply drawn to someone, one of the ways that attraction often reveals itself is through playful teasing. It might seem light-hearted on the surface, but underneath it carries an emotional charge that helps build connection and chemistry. This teasing isn't about being disrespectful or making someone uncomfortable. It's about creating a shared moment of intimacy disguised as humor. When he teases you gently, it's his way of bridging the gap between friendship and something more, a way to test the emotional spark without laying all his feelings bare too soon. Playful teasing creates a dynamic that draws both people closer. It's a way to flirt without needing to say, I like you, out loud. When someone teases in a warm and charming way, they invite a reaction. That reaction becomes a small emotional dance. He says something witty, you respond, and suddenly the air between you is alive with a subtle current. It's not about the words themselves as much as the energy underneath them. He's looking to see if you laugh, if you play along, if you match that playful spark. It's his way of seeing if the attraction is mutual. When a man is crazy about you, this kind of teasing often comes with softness. It doesn't feel like an attack. It feels like a gentle nudge. He might joke about a habit you have, or give a light-hearted comment about something small you said, but he'll always do it with a smile or a twinkle in his eye. It's his way of saying, "I'm paying attention to you." Teasing gives him a chance to be close without being too serious too soon, and it gives you both a chance to feel each other's energy. This type of interaction is also powerful because it creates emotional tension in a good way. It builds anticipation and playfulness, two things that fuel romantic attraction. Teasing invites a little challenge, and human beings are wired to respond to a challenge when we're interested. It keeps the conversation engaging and unpredictable, which makes every interaction feel alive. A small, witty comment followed by a shared laugh can leave a deeper impression than a perfectly scripted compliment. That's why teasing often works better than a rehearsed line. It feels real, natural, and spontaneous. Another layer to this is that playful teasing allows someone to express their interest without risking too much vulnerability too soon. If he were to just come out and confess everything he feels, it might create pressure or tension. But a light joke, a playful remark, gives him a safe way to test the waters. If you respond positively, he knows he can lean in a little more. If you don't, he can retreat without embarrassment. It's his way of protecting his heart while still moving closer to you. Teasing also helps build a sense of us. When you share a joke or a playful moment, it creates a private little world that only the two of you understand. It could be a running joke, a nickname, or a playful comment that becomes an inside thing between you. Those small, shared moments build emotional intimacy over time. You start to associate that person with laughter, lightness, and comfort. That's why people often remember how someone made them feel more than what they said. Teasing creates the feeling of closeness, of familiarity, of ease. It's also interesting how teasing can reveal how much attention he pays to you. If he remembers something you said earlier and teases you about it later, that's a sign he was listening. It's not random, it's thoughtful. He teases you about the way you always order the same drink, the way you get excited about something small, or the way you react in a certain situation. These are not big, obvious things, but noticing them means he's paying attention at a deeper level. The real beauty of playful teasing is in how it balances attraction with safety. It invites closeness but doesn't demand it. It gives both people the space to be themselves while creating a spark between them. That spark is what keeps a conversation from feeling flat or formal. It makes the moment feel alive, personal, and charged with something just beneath the surface. When a man is genuinely into you, he uses teasing as a way to make the connection light but meaningful. He wants to see you smile, to get a reaction, to create a moment that belongs only to the two of you. It's a language of flirtation that doesn't always need to be spoken directly. In those playful exchanges, the real message is clear: he's drawn to you, he's paying attention, and he's creating a spark that only grows stronger with every shared laugh. When someone truly cares, they don't just hear your words, they hold on to them. When a man is crazy about you, one of the most telling signs is how he remembers the little details you share. It's not just the big moments or dramatic conversations that stay with him. It's the tiny fragments, the casual remarks, the things you might not even remember saying. Maybe it's the way you talked about your favorite snack, the story of a childhood memory, a dream you've had, or a place you want to visit someday. Those details get stored in his mind, not because he's trying to memorize them, but because you matter to him. Your words carry weight, and his attention reflects his feelings. This kind of remembering goes beyond politeness or good manners. It's not just about recalling facts, it's about emotional investment. When someone is genuinely drawn to you, your voice lingers long after the conversation ends. He might replay moments in his mind without realizing it, which makes your words stick. So when he brings up something small you mentioned weeks ago, it's not random. It's a quiet, powerful sign that you've made an imprint on his mind. Even when he's not around you, he's carrying those little pieces of you with him. What makes this so meaningful is that it's usually subtle. He doesn't say, "I'm remembering everything you say because I like you." Instead, it shows up in small, surprising ways. He might remember how you take your coffee and order it that way without asking. He might mention a dream you told him about and encourage you not to give up on it. He might recall the name of your pet, a movie you said you loved, or the day you have an important event. Those moments reveal that you're not just someone he talks to, you're someone he listens to deeply. When a man remembers the little details, he's not just processing information, he's paying attention emotionally. Attention is one of the clearest signs of genuine interest. Most people hear things and let them pass, but when someone truly values you, they tune in differently. Your words don't blend into the noise of daily life, they stand out. They become a reference point for future conversations, a way for him to connect and show that he values what matters to you. This kind of attention also builds trust. When you see that someone remembers something important to you, even if it's small, it makes you feel seen. And feeling seen is one of the most powerful feelings in any connection. It tells you that your presence matters. It creates a quiet emotional safety because you know they're not just nodding along, they're taking it in. When a man is drawn to you in this way, he wants to understand you, not just talk to you. It also shows how emotionally present he is when he's with you. In a world full of distractions, listening deeply has become rare. So when someone remembers the details, it means they weren't just physically there. They were mentally and emotionally engaged in that moment. They weren't scrolling through their phone or half listening while thinking about something else. They were focused on you. That kind of presence speaks volumes about what you mean to them. You'll often notice this most when you least expect it. Maybe you casually mentioned you were nervous about a meeting. A week later, he asks how it went. Or maybe you said you love a certain dessert, and the next time you meet, he surprises you with it. These gestures are not about grand displays of affection. They're quiet, thoughtful reflections of someone who pays attention because they care. When a man remembers details, he's also building a bridge between your conversations. He's showing you that what you say doesn't disappear into the void. It stays with him, shapes the way he interacts with you, and gives him reasons to keep coming back. He might even use these details as gentle ways to make you smile or remind you that he's been listening all along. This behavior stands out because it's rare. Many people listen to respond, but few listen to understand. When someone is crazy about you, they fall into the latter category. They don't just hear you, they absorb your world. They take the small puzzle pieces you share and hold them close. Over time, those pieces create a deeper emotional bond. It's a quiet but powerful kind of affection, the kind that doesn't need loud declarations to be felt. It shows through consistency, care, and the simple act of remembering what matters to you. When a man is genuinely drawn to someone, one of the most natural and powerful instincts that emerges is the desire to protect. This isn't about control, dominance, or trying to take over someone's life. It's a quiet, almost instinctive pull to make sure the person he cares about feels safe, valued, and respected. When he's crazy about you, he begins to prioritize your emotional space in ways that may seem subtle at first, but reveal a deep sense of care and emotional investment. It's in the way he notices your comfort levels, the way he reacts when something or someone affects you, and how he instinctively wants to shield you from anything that might hurt or unsettle you. You might notice this protectiveness in the small gestures before anything grand. If you're walking down a busy street, he might naturally position himself on the side closest to the traffic. If you're out at night, he might offer to walk you to your car or make sure you get home safely. If someone makes a comment that crosses a line, you might see him subtly step in or change the dynamic to make you feel secure. These are quiet, instinctive behaviors, not rehearsed moves. They happen because your well-being matters to him. This kind of protectiveness also extends to emotional spaces, not just physical ones. When he senses you're uncomfortable in a conversation, he may redirect it. If you're upset, he doesn't dismiss your feelings but tunes in, wanting to ease the weight you're carrying. If something has hurt you, he listens closely, not because he's trying to fix everything, but because he genuinely wants to be your safe place. Emotional protection is just as powerful as physical protection, and when a man is truly invested, he wants to guard both. Another layer of this instinct shows up when he respects your boundaries without you needing to explain them over and over again. Real care isn't just about stepping in when danger is obvious. It's about understanding what makes you feel safe and honoring that. If he senses you're tired and not in the mood for something, he doesn't push. If you've shared personal vulnerabilities with him, he doesn't use them carelessly. He becomes mindful of how his actions, words, and choices impact your sense of security. This protectiveness isn't loud or dramatic. Often, it's almost invisible to anyone else but you. It's in the way he notices small shifts in your mood. The way he checks in without making a big deal about it. The way he looks out for you in group settings without overshadowing your independence. He's not trying to rescue you. He's trying to make sure you never have to question if you're safe being yourself around him. That sense of safety is one of the strongest signs that someone's feelings are real and deep. What makes this behavior so meaningful is that it's often driven by genuine care, not strategy. Men who are truly invested don't think, how can I impress her by acting protective? They just for dough. Their body language shifts, their attention sharpens, and their awareness of your comfort becomes part of how they move. It's a form of silent communication that says, I value you, I've got your back. This doesn't mean he thinks you can't protect yourself. In fact, part of what draws him in is your strength. But he wants to be someone who adds to your sense of safety, not someone who disrupts it. You can often feel this instinct when he's not even near you. Maybe he texts to make sure you got home, or he remembers something important coming up and checks in to ask how it went. Those small check-ins are more than casual conversation. They're emotional signals that he's thinking about you even when you're not in front of him. When someone truly cares, their sense of responsibility toward your well-being grows without them needing to be told. This kind of protectiveness also builds trust without words. When someone consistently respects your comfort, you begin to relax around them. You stop guarding every corner of yourself because you know they won't trample it. You can speak freely, laugh openly, and share more deeply because their presence feels safe. That's the unspoken power of a man who values your emotional space. He doesn't need to say he'll protect your heart. His actions prove it every single day in quiet, meaningful ways. When someone is crazy about you, protecting your space isn't a duty or an obligation. It's something that comes naturally. It's not about shielding you from the world. It's about walking beside you in it. It's making sure you know you matter. It's making sure you feel respected, heard, and held in a way that gives you strength, not takes it away. And in that, his care becomes something that speaks louder than any grand romantic gesture ever could. When a man is truly drawn to someone, even the most confident version of him starts to care deeply about how she sees him. It's not about ego or needing approval from everyone. It's about needing it from you. That's when subtle behaviors begin to reveal themselves. Moments when he seeks your validation, sometimes without even realizing it. When a man is crazy about you, your opinion becomes a quiet compass in the back of his mind. He starts to pay attention to how you react, what you think, and how you respond to the things he says and does. And even if he's the kind of man who doesn't need anyone else's approval, yours will matter. It often shows up in small, seemingly ordinary moments. He cracks a joke and then quickly glances at your face to see if you laughed. He shares a story or a personal detail and looks for your reaction, hoping it lands the way he wants it to. He might dress a little better when he knows he'll see you. Not because he's trying to prove something to the world, but because he wants to impress you. These are subtle but powerful signs of emotional investment. They're not about arrogance, they're about caring enough to want to be seen in the best light by the person who matters most. This behavior isn't always loud or obvious. In fact, most of the time it slips out through quiet, instinctive gestures. When a man is attracted to you, he might become more aware of how he carries himself, the way he speaks, or the stories he chooses to tell. He's subconsciously presenting a version of himself that he hopes will not only be accepted but appreciated. This isn't about pretending to be someone else. It's about showing the best parts of who he is, because your opinion genuinely matters to him. One of the clearest signs of this kind of validation seeking is how much attention he pays to your reactions in conversation. If he's excited to share something about his life, an accomplishment, a new idea, or something meaningful, he's watching to see how you respond. If your eyes light up, it boosts him. If you seem distracted or distant, it hits differently. That's because your response carries emotional weight. It's no longer just about what he thinks of himself. It's also about what might you think of him. Even in group settings, you'll notice this kind of subtle pull. He might make a comment or tell a story, but instead of watching everyone, his eyes will flicker to you. He wants to know if you found it interesting, if you smiled, if you saw him the way he hopes to be seen. Your presence becomes a quiet focal point, even in a crowd. That's how you can often tell when someone's interest goes beyond casual. Validation seeking also extends to emotional vulnerability. When a man truly likes you, he doesn't just want to impress you, he wants to be accepted by you. That's when he starts sharing parts of himself he doesn't show to everyone. He might talk about his dreams, his struggles, or something personal that means a lot to him. These moments aren't random, they're invitations. By opening up, he's silently asking, "Do you see me? Do you accept this part of me too?" The way you respond in those moments matters more than he'll probably admit. This behavior can also appear in how he reacts to your opinions. If you gently tease him, he might laugh but also pay attention to what it reveals. If you compliment him, it can shift his entire mood. If you disapprove of something, it may quietly stay with him longer than you realize. When someone values your perception of them, even small interactions can carry meaning. It's not about giving you control over his self-worth, it's about the significance your opinion holds in his heart. Even men who are usually composed and self-assured show these signs when their feelings are real. Confidence doesn't make someone immune to wanting validation from the person they like. It often makes them express it more subtly. He might act like he's just being himself, but his attention to your reactions betrays how much it actually matters to him. It's in the way he waits for a smile, how his tone softens when you approve, how he straightens a little when he senses he's made a good impression. When a man is emotionally invested, he begins to measure the impact of his presence through your eyes. That doesn't mean he loses himself in trying to please you. It means that your perception becomes something he values and considers. He wants to be someone who makes you feel proud, someone who makes you smile, someone who leaves an impression. In his world, your validation isn't just approval, it's a form of emotional connection that deepens his desire to be close. When someone is truly into you, they may not always say it out loud, but their actions will speak volumes. Real attraction isn't just about romantic gestures or dramatic declarations. It's built quietly through consistency, small details, emotional awareness, and subtle signals that say, "You matter." When a man is crazy about you, he starts to mirror your energy, because being close to your rhythm makes him feel connected. He finds ways to be around you because your presence has become a place he wants to return to. He uses playful teasing to create sparks, to build a little world that belongs only to the two of you. He remembers the tiny things you say because your words stay with him longer than you realize. He protects your space, not to control you, but to make you feel safe and valued. And finally, he seeks your validation, not because he needs the world's approval, but because yours carries the deepest weight. All of these behaviors on their own may seem small, but together they create a powerful truth. When a man is genuinely interested, you will feel it. You won't have to guess or chase or beg for clarity. His energy, presence, and effort will speak for him. Real interest doesn't just show up once. It shows up again and again in quiet, intentional ways. So, as you move through relationships, learn to read not just the words, but the energy behind them. Notice how someone makes you feel, how they show up, and how they value your space. True connection is never forced. It's revealed through actions that match the feelings they're too scared or too captivated to fully express in words. Thank you for being here and for allowing this message to sink in. May this help you see the quiet signs of real interest more clearly, trust your intuition more deeply, and never settle for anything less than the kind of love that shows up with both heart and intention. Goodbye, take care of your heart, and thank you so much for listening.